When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic, to cosplay, to Schitt's Creek, to Supernatural, and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and on this episode, we're continuing our little mini celebration of horror comedies and also creature features with a look at the 1990 movie Arachnophobia. And joining me and returning from last week, and also she's in a cool cosplay outfit that I'm going to let her describe, but is Tiff. Hello, Tiff.
Hi, hey, hello. And I'm wearing the iconic Bug Be Gone outfit that Delbert wears in Arachnophobia. So if you're looking to do a pretty easy costume, a DIY, just get yourself a little olive colored button down. You can probably find one at your local thrift store. You can get yourself a little khaki or olive colored hat. And I got some just iron-on patches from Etsy, from an Etsy store. They had a bunch of letters and numbers in them. So you can just literally iron them on, and there you go. Oh, and my pocket protector.
I love it. I wonder because I don't know if John Goodman ever does conventions, but I wonder if anyone's ever come up to him cosplaying as Delbert. Yeah.
That would be amazing if they did, because I'm sure probably most people are going to do, obviously, Dan, but Dan Connor, but because that's an easy one. Just wear a lot of plaid. Just wear a plaid shirt.
But Delbert would be more fun.
Delbert would totally be more fun. It's easy. This is an easy one to do.
Or they also probably do his character from The Big Lebowski, or any of his characters really from any Coen Brothers movie. Probably they do too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be spoiling this movie, but this movie it's old. We don't have to say how old it is. It's old.
Time is a false construct.
Yeah. But I'm going to give you the IMDb description. I wasn't going to give trigger warnings, but I guess trigger warning if you have arachnophobia, that this movie would probably be very hard for you to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But you can watch this right now on Tubi. So you can watch it on Tubi for free if you haven't seen it. So it's a PG-13. It's tame. It's probably a really good intro, as long as they're not afraid of spiders, I guess. An intro film for younger people to get into comedy horror stuff. So from IMDb, the description is: a new species of South American killer spider hitches a lift to a California town in a coffin and starts to breed, leaving a trail of deaths that puzzle and terrify young Dr. Ross Jennings, who is newly arrived in town with his family. That is one of the longer descriptions I've seen on IMDb for a movie. Usually they're a little bit shorter, but that one is pretty long, I think.
And pretty accurate.
Yeah. This was directed by Frank Marshall, and it was written by Don Jacoby and Wesley Strick, and story was also by Al Williams. And I'm just going to give you the four top cast, the four people that are listed as top cast. There are other people, of course, but I'm just going to list those. So it stars Jeff Daniels as Dr. Ross Jennings, Julian Sands as Dr. James Atherton, John Goodman as Delbert McClintock, and Harley Jane Kozak as Molly Jennings, who is the wife of Dr. Ross Jennings and is also one of the ones that moves to this small town. So, what I first want to know, Tiff, is on a scale of 1 to 5 cute little spiders just running around, what do you give Arachnophobia?
I give Arachnophobia a bunch of legs, so 5 spiders. 5 out of 5. So that's a lot of legs, people. That is a lot of legs out there. How many legs is that? That's 40. That's 40 legs crawling all over the place, which is
Yeah.
real gross.
That is a lot of legs. So before I give my rating, I just want to say, when I was looking at trivia for this, I really want to praise this film for something. They were so concerned about the real spiders that they used in this. They used like a lot of real spiders that were not dangerous. They also used for the bigger spider, they used a tarantula, a bird tarantula, like, that can kill birds. But they were so adamant that these spiders never get hurt. So they went to great lengths to prevent any spider from getting injured. Like they had like prop spiders. They had like anytime a spider was stepped on or a book fell on them or anything like that, they had like a hole in the bottom of that so that it wouldn't actually harm the spider. They trained the actors how to safely handle the spiders. And I just think that's pretty awesome, honestly, especially in the 90s that they were doing that for spiders that aren't really respected, honestly. Most people, like kill them or, something like that. So I'm just pointing that out because I just loved all the trivia about that. It really made me like this film more for that reason. So I really enjoyed this movie. I haven't seen this movie in like, I don't know, probably since the 90s, to be quite honest. And it was so much fun watching it. I actually think I remember seeing it actually in the theaters, but I think I'd give it 4.5 spiders. So sorry, I'm not being very nice to the spider I'm cutting in half, but I'd give it 4.5 out of 5 spiders. It's so much fun. I'm trying to think if I liked this or Tremors more of the two, and I think actually I liked this more. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. It was funny
It
too.
is funny.
So, yeah.
It's a hilarious. I mean, it's gross because, spiders, but 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 it's hilarious at the same time. I think you're right though. I like the characters more in Tremors, but I like this storyline and plot more in Arachnophobia.
Yeah, I think the storyline and plot in this it's clever, and it's also, I'm a big proponent of like a lot of animals that are feared or thought of as like the bad animals, like sharks and stuff like that and snakes. I'm actually like a big fan of. I had a tarantula when I was young, a cinnamon tarantula. I'm not recommending anyone ever have a tarantula. I don't think these animals belong in captivity. And then I'll share another story later about something my grandma did, which was just absolutely ridiculous. I still can't believe she passed customs, like got through customs. I'll tell the story a little bit later. But so, like the reason I know you all can yell at me, I don't care. But the reason I don't like anaconda is because they didn't research snakes at all. And it really bugs me as someone who loves snakes. And to me, it just bugged me because of that. But this, even though the arachnids are the villains, I think there's some kind of respect in a way for what spiders, do, like talking about how when they explain how spiders, are pretty much harmless for the most part and how they help the ecosystem with, bugs and insects and stuff like that. So just pointing that out, just adding that in there. And I'll get into that a little bit more later. But so, Tiff, well, you talked about how, you mentioned how in Tremors you liked the characters more in Tremors than in Arachnophobia. But what are your overall thoughts on the characters in this? And I have a feeling who your favorite is, and who's your favorite character?
So I really like the characterization of small town because I think they get it right. yeah, now I've never lived in a small town, but I think that I have known enough folks who live in a small town. I have a lot of family that actually live in small towns. And when I visited, you get this very kind of insular feeling toward outsiders, whom they deem as outsiders. So I think they got that like really spot on. Like the doctor that's there already, Dr. Metcalf, and he's old and he's crotchety and he knows everything, right? That there is to know about anything. And the one thing that I didn't like with that was that the fact that they moved to this small town, Ross is a doctor, so presumably he is very intelligent, and he's coming there to take over Dr. Metcalf's practice. You don't have anything in writing? You it's just vibes? We just go off on vibes?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point.
I was watching this, I'm watching it with dear daughter, and dear daughter's like, "Where's their contract?" Dear daughter's 14 and she knew better. She said, "Where's the lawyers? Where are they?" But I love the way they turn the trope upside down because here, Ross is the one who's terrified of spiders, but Molly is the one who's like, "Oh, it's harmless. It's not going to do anything to you." She's the one
Yeah.
who, when the spider is in the box, when they first moved there, and she's the one that grabs it with the tissue and and lets it outside and starts a whole chain of disaster. No, just kidding. But she but she's a better one than me because I would have been there with the raid. Like, where's the raid? Where's that spider would have been blasted to oblivion if it was me. Margaret Hollins, who is the one that like really welcomes the Jennings to the town, I really like her because I feel like she's super sassy. And she's like, "Look, I am in my probably late 60s, early 70s, and you're not going to tell me what to do." She said, I mean, basically like to the doctor and then to Sheriff Lloyd. She's like, "I taught him in the 5th grade and he was a bully then." She's like, "I should know I held him back." I love that. That's hilarious. So,
Yeah.
but for favorites, I got to go with my man Delbert because Delbert he kind of holds himself to the same standards as Dr. Atherton. Like he feels like he is the same level as this, very professional. I don't even know what professors and doctors of insects are, like, and arachnids. Like, what are they called? Insectologists, bugologists? I don't know. But
It's it's an epidemiologist or epidemiologist or something with it. It's something like that. It's something with
etymologist.
their,
Is it an etymologist?
I can't remember what it's. Thank you. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
because it's about their yeah,
the body structure.
their skeletal system kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yes. So
Mm.
I love the fact that Delbert holds himself on the same level as them. Unlike when Ross is talking about how he's going to build his wine cellar and everything, and he's telling him what type of wine it is. He's like, "Well, maybe you should look at beers. Like, I'm a collector of beer cans." He said he have a 1970 whatever Budweiser Classic or something like that. It's
Yeah,
the funniest thing.
with the error on it.
Yes,
or
with the
something.
error on it. He's quirky and he's weird and he is comedic relief, but he's also one of the ones who saves the day. So Delbert is definitely my favorite. That's why I'm cosplaying as my guy. Delbert all the way.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler, Delbert's my favorite too because plus it's John Goodman, and John Goodman is like my childhood dad kind of thing, because of Roseanne and everything. And I just really love John Goodman. I think he's a fantastic actor. But before I talk about him, I'll talk about the others. So I think Jeff Daniels, does a really good job with this role because it's kind of like he kind of has to add more to it because it's kind of a very simple part, but he has to add little like quirks or stuff. So I like the way he plays because he has arachnophobia, and I like the way he plays that. And the scene when he first when he's with the assistant, Dr. Atherton's assistant, And the assistant's like, you've got to move to distract the spider. So he could put like the glass over the spider and capture the live spider. And when he's like frozen in fear and then he finally moves. And I think Jeff Daniels did that really well. And I just want to talk about Harley Jane Kozak, who plays his wife, Molly. In the 90s, this actress, the 90s and late 80s, was like always playing this role of like the wife who was kind of like, you know, the thankless mother role, but also she went above that, but it was kind of like a play on that, like in Parenthood, when she's one of the children in the movie Parenthood, not the show Parenthood. And it's kind of the same kind of role where it's like you're the typical wife, but you're not the typical wife, you know, like trying to play with gender roles and gender roles in the family dynamic and stuff. So having her be fine with the spiders and then even going into the barn and taking the picture of the web that it creates and all of that, I thought she did a really good job with that, because this is another role that could be very thankless as a woman, but she adds more to it. And I don't know what really happened to her. You know, I guess I could look, but she kind of, I think, disappeared after the 90s, but she was kind of that person that was always kind of playing this character. Dr. James Atherton, played by Julian Sands, who I really like Julian Sands, but he's this typical, like, I wrote down, like in the beginning when you see them going to Venezuela and that's how the spiders come to be. And I wrote down white people doing white people shit. That's what he does. It's like the typical, just like white people just like investigating and being like, oh, we're going to, you know, take this back without thinking of any consequences, you know, and that's really what he is doing throughout this whole movie. And so in a way, you kind of like that he dies because he's so cocky and like so like just wants to study this new arachnid, and he doesn't really like care about people dying. He's just more all about, ooh, this cool new find. And you know, he doesn't even think about the fact, because he's got one, that's the other thing I was wondering, because he's got one back in the lab that he's feeding like that cricket, like they have the thing when he's like, you know, jostling the web. And I think it's that one that he took back alive that wasn't in the coffin. And I'm wondering now, is that one going to break free and then like, you know, years later cause the same kind of thing that this one did?
Right.
I don't know.
Find a spider, a regular schmegular spider to breed with, and more soldiers.
More soldiers, yes, which I love that. But yeah, Delbert is definitely my favorite. Oh, before I get to him, I did want to point out that the girl that's like in the small town that becomes friends with their children, Bunny Beechwood, has like some of the funniest lines, like when they're like, oh, they're probably just going to go out and catch fireflies. And then she's like, want to blow up a bullfrog?
Yes.
Don't know why. That just cracked me up. So in a way, that's kind of like the end. It's kind of going against what the stereotype is of small town. Like they're just like, they just do simple little sweet things all the time. And also going against what people might think a young girl will do. And so I thought that was pretty funny. And I did live in a small mountain town in New Mexico when I was in my like late 20s. And the one thing, they actually did capture it. There's like this thing with small towns where if people have lived there for a long time, it's like being like basically in high school and there's like this popular clique and they don't trust you. Like immediately they don't trust you, or they just kind of make fun of you in a way without making fun of you. It's this weird thing. Like everybody knows each other. And if you're a new person in that town, it's very hard to fit in or to make friends. And, you know, I think they kind of show that with the fact that nobody wants to go to this new doctor except for one person, you know, and they show that with Lloyd with giving like that ticket and all that kind of stuff. And it's like that whole thing of like, we're fine the way we are. We don't need you big city folks. Although it is ridiculous that a big city doctor wouldn't have had a contract signed. That's so ridiculous. He would have had something in writing, you would think.
Something, anything, something that was notarized. I mean, gosh.
So silly. Yeah, something.
Yeah. It's so silly.
Think for sure.
Yeah, it's honestly so ridiculous. You uproot your life from San Francisco, you go to this itty bitty bitty tiny town, and with the assumption you're going to take over this man's practice, his patients and things like that. That is your livelihood. That is your livelihood. Your patients from San Francisco are not going to come haul all the way to this little itty bitty tiny town to see you, sir. So so silly. So ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very ridiculous. Yeah. But yes, Delbert is my favorite. I think John Goodman is probably having a ton of fun with this. John Goodman is someone who just he's a great actor, and he's also a great character actor, and he just gets into the part. He just fills the shoes. He's just instantly Delbert. He's not John Connor. He's not John. John Connor. That's from Terminator movies.
Terminator. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh my God, Erin. Oh my gosh. Dan Connor. He's not Dan Connor. He's definitely not John Connor. But he's not Dan Connor at all. And John Goodman said he was one of the few in the cast that wasn't afraid of spiders at all, which I think actually fits perfectly for him to play this role. But I love that he's not going to sit there and be disrespected simply because he is doing pest control work. He respects his job. He wants to be respected. He takes it seriously. I love that when he meets Dr. Atherton, he's like, oh, nice to meet other people in the same field.
Yes.
And I just love that. I love it. He's so great. He's so funny. Yeah, he does so much with the little screen time that he has. And yeah, I think it's great because I think it's good too that he's not in it a ton. He doesn't show up until almost an hour in. And I think that's good because with a character like this, if you overdo it, it becomes obnoxious. And so it's just the right amount. And I think that's why I think most people would pick him as their favorite. And I think that's why. So,
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about spiders. So we're going to talk about if we're afraid of spiders, if the film made us afraid of spiders, and just spiders in general. So we'll be right back.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
So, Tiff, I already know this answer because of what we've been talking about already. But so were you already afraid of spiders? And then did this film make that fear stronger? Or how do you feel about spiders?
Yes, I am absolutely terrified of spiders. Absolutely, completely 1,000,000,000% afraid of spiders. Just the idea of a spider just completely freaks me out. I don't care if it's one of those teeny tiny ones. I don't care if it's daddy long leg. I don't care if it's one that has a really, really kind of squishy body. They're all horrifying to me. Absolutely horrifying. I will tell you about a story where I had to go to work. At the time I was working, I had to be at work at 6:00 in the morning. And it's, obviously still dark at that time. I'm driving on the freeway. It's 5:15. And I kind of just flick my eyes up, just whatever, just kind of flick my eyes up because something caught my eye. And my visor, I can just see legs out of my visor. And when I say I almost plummeted off of the side of the freeway, I almost literally, like in an action movie, plummeted off the side of the freeway. It would have been no more Tiff at that point in time. It was a big grayish spider in the car. I was on the side of the road for like 20 minutes trying to get up the courage to kill this spider. I was like Ross. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't move. I was absolutely frozen. Trying to get up the courage, trying to get up my intestinal fortitude to kill this thing. It was about 20 minutes in the dark. So yes, you can say that I am afraid of spiders, Erin, that I'm quite frightened of spiders still. And this absolutely made it worse. Dear daughter and I were screeching. We had fun watching it while she was helping me with podcast prep. We were screeching the whole time. And so it was a lot of fun. But yes, this made it worse. This made it a lot worse.
So then you'd say you have arachnophobia then.
Most definitely. It has never left me. It has absolutely never left me. And honestly, I'm equal opportunity when it comes to any type of insect, arachnid, or whatever, anything in between. If it's got creepy and crawly and legs, no thank you. Nope.
The funny thing is that, yeah, I'm not really like a big fan of spiders. I appreciate what they do, though. I really appreciate what they do because they are so essential for our ecosystem. They're essential for bug control. I do believe that thing of like they're good luck if you see one when you first move into a house. I'm not saying I want them all around, but I also did have a spider when I was young. I had like lizards. I had a turtle. I had a snake later. I was just a weird kid. But I had like a tarantula, a cinnamon tarantula, which are like the most docile of the tarantulas. There's lots of different kinds of tarantulas. There's a town here in Colorado that has an annual tarantula thing where the tarantulas are trying to find like their partners, or they're trying to like, they're like doing a mating thing, and they cross the roads and the road is literally covered in tarantulas. And so it's like people should leave them alone and let them do their thing that they're doing. Mine, I loved watching it molt, which is when it sheds. It basically, tarantulas will shed their skin. If you don't know spiders, that sac in the back, that's where all their organs and everything are. So in case you're wondering where their organs are, that's where their organs are. And so I respect them and respect what they do. And I will say, though, I would never have one again because you should never have a spider in captivity. Mine died when it got out of its cage, crawled out and fell, and that sac in the back burst and it died. I held a funeral for it. I loved my spider. But my grandma, may she rest in peace. My grandma passed a couple years ago, but my grandma, she, bless her heart, she was very involved in her church, and her church used to go to Haiti. And one time when she was flying back, she had taken a spider from there, put it in a little bit of tissue paper, put it in her purse, and came back to the United States, went through customs. I don't know how she got away with this, came back and presented it as a present. This wild spider she had caught. So she did basically the white people shit. And this spider was so mean and angry, which I don't blame it. And it would be like, if you tapped the cage, it would go like the spiders in this movie. And so we ended up donating it to like the Smithsonian or some museum or something. So it was like, I just can't imagine my little grandma just picking up this spider in a tissue, putting it in her purse and traveling with it. And it blows my mind to this day. And she brought it as a present. It was...
How big was it?
It wasn't that big, actually. It was like maybe like a dime, maybe the size of like a nickel or something, like a nickel. A nickel maybe, or quarter, actually, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
My cinnamon tarantula was kind of the size of a little tiny bit smaller than the big spider in Arachnophobia.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
It never once tried to bite me. it ate crickets, so I would hear crickets until it ate all the crickets.
No. Oh.
Sorry, Tiff. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was a weird kid, okay? I was a very weird kid.
No, I can get down with turtles. Turtles are very cool. Lizards, like them, they're very neat. You know, I like geckos and chameleons and things like that. But oh gosh, a tarantula.
I understand. I was a weird kid. I was a weirdly weird kid. I would never have one now, and I don't think anyone should. I do want to say, though, the spiders in this movie, they crack me up because they are hunting these people, okay?
Yes.
And it just cracks me up, some of the close-ups of them when they are turning their, their eyes and look. I mean, those are definitely the animatronic ones, but
Right.
when they're turning and they're looking and the way they're hunting people, and when I love the scene when the dog first goes out of the dog door and then the cat goes
Yes.
out and then the spider goes out and then and then the crow comes and picks it up and drops it. Well, the crow
Yes.
does, but I just loved watching the things they would do with these spiders because it made it more funny because these spiders were smart. They were at the end when they're just crawling out of everywhere and hunting them, and it just cracked me up. And it cracked me up when that one spider was kind of hunting the little girls, and she just dropped that book on it without even knowing, and it was one of those things of this scary thing, and then all of a sudden something drops on it. So
yeah,
I thought they handled it really well, and I loved the little detail of how they didn't hear crickets anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that detail too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
It was funny when you saw the love story between the house spider and then the spider, and how they kind of showed them together, kind of having a meet cute, if you will.
It was now kiss. Oh gosh.
Their little meet cute. Sorry, Tiff.
It's okay. It's all right.
This is why you were the only one to sign up for this, because everybody's like, I'm not talking about.
Well, dear daughter's favorite part was when the coach's daughter is in the shower and it's in the shampoo and he just bursts in. She's like, and then the brother pokes his head in and they're like, what is happening? That was hilarious. I mean, totally scary, but hilarious.
Had great scenes like that, watching the shadow of the spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final showdown with Dr. Ross, shoot, the fire and then shooting it with the, with the arrow basically, or whatever. I loved that. That was great. We're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we are going to just, anything else we want to add about how the film holds up in the realm of horror comedies and creature features. So we'll be right back.
What are your holiday traditions? Putting up a minimum of 6 trees? Decorating every room with a different theme? Whatever it is, here's one way to make those traditions extra special. Start the season with Etsy. On Etsy, you'll discover original pieces from small shops to help you celebrate your way. Shop Etsy for holiday decor that makes you feel seen. Special starts on Etsy. Tap the banner to shop now.
Okay, so Tiff, I know you love this movie. I love this movie, so this is probably a pretty easy question to answer. But as far as it goes in the catalog of creature features and horror comedies, how well does this hold up as far as over the years, where it ranks with those for you?
I think it totally stands up. Just like I thought, Tremors was great for a however many years this was movie. I think it's the same standard for this too. I put it up there with Gremlins, and I don't know if you remember the movie Critters. And there's also a movie called Deep Rising.
I loved Critters.
That one. And that was really good. So I think, yes, Critters is so good. So funny. So I think it totally stands up. Dear daughter loved it. She had a blast. We had a blast screeching together about it. And of course, we watched it at night and we had popcorn and all of that sort of thing. So we set the mood. We had the right atmosphere for it. So yeah, this completely stands up to me. It's got to be like for creature features for me. It's got to be top 5 for sure. Definitely top 5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, and I don't know if I would have said that before rewatching it because I haven't rewatched it in so long. But I think also the real test of if a movie will stand up and hold up is if younger generations like it. So having your daughter say that she liked it, I think that is that's the answer to this question really, is because if younger generations watch this and they don't just go, oh, this is just an old movie and it's not good and blah, blah, blah. That really says something, I think, even more than us saying it still holds up, is another generation discovering their love of the movie. That says more in my mind than us just sitting here saying we loved it. So yeah, I think it definitely, is in that top tier. I think, I also think of like Eight-Legged Freaks, which is another spider movie. That one's a little bit more in like the giant, insect realm and the giant creature feature thing, than this one. But it's still the same thing of like, something attacking the town. And that's this, that's usually like this little pest that becomes this big villain. So yeah, I think it holds up really well. And oh my gosh, I love Critters. We'll have to talk about that sometime because that movie is so much fun. Oh my gosh, I loved that movie. And of course, Gremlins. I still love Gremlins. Gremlins is still a blast. And I did want to point out, I'm only pointing this out because I've been watching Family Ties a lot because it's on the Roku channel. You can watch, or Pluto. They have a whole channel that's just Family Ties. And I loved that they were watching an episode of Family Ties.
Amazing. It was so amazing.
I was like, oh man.
I know. It's such a fun
And watching the
callback.
spider crawl down.
Yeah.
The spider crawling over Alex's face.
I know.
It was just
the cherry on top.
Yes, I loved that. Yeah, it was so much fun. So yeah, check this movie out. If you haven't watched this movie, watch it. If you haven't watched this movie in years, watch it. It's a fun little creature feature and the performances are good. You get to see John Goodman, get to see Delbert, who is just such a fantastic character. And I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of those that like you can use as an entryway to this genre of film. It's a good entry film.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But it is time to play 6 Degrees of Mr. Finn Whitrock. And I do want to add that we are doing Finn Whitrock birthday trivia again this year. We're going to do it actually on his birthday, October 28th. So Tuesday, October 28th. I'll have more information soon, but you can go to our website, follow us there. Follow our YouTube channel is the best thing to do, and you'll get notifications. And so join us Tuesday night. I think it'll be 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, one of those two. And it's always a fun night of trivia because I run the trivia board. And because Erin A plays as a contestant because she's part of our Finn crew. And so I'm very bad at running that board. So there's always lots of silly mishaps. It's just one of our, it's just a silly night of trivia. And we just do it for fun and to celebrate Finn Whitrock. So it's a fun little night. So make sure to join us. So follow us on our YouTube channel. So, Tiff, I'm assuming you played. Did you play 6 Degrees of Finn?
I did.
Okay. How did you connect Finn to Arachnophobia?
So I chose Mary Carver. Oh, okay. So Mary Carver, Margaret, who played Margaret Hollins, was in Protocol with Ed Begley Jr., who was in +1 with Finn.
Oh, yay. I like that. I think we haven't used +1 in a long time. So, yay. Good job. I like that one. So I used John Goodman because I had to. John Goodman was in 10 Cloverfield Lane with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who was in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter with one of our with one of our favorites, Rufus Sewell, who was in Judy with Finn Whitrock. So
nice.
Yay.
Nice, nice, nice. Love that. Love that.
So thank you so much, Tiff, for joining me for this one for Arachnophobia. I really enjoyed this conversation. I enjoyed watching this movie again so much. It was so much fun
Me too.
to catch it again. So once again, I really recommend people watch it. You can watch it for free on Tubi. So, go do it. You do have to have commercials, but it's really not bad. So I recommend that. You can also rent it probably at your library too, is another way to watch it. So Tiff, tell everybody where they can find you.
So I am at Who is Tiff is Me across the socials, but mostly I'm on the Discord with the It's a Fandom Thing Pod crew, where we talk it up about all sorts of things like pets, like movies, like television, like books, like theater. So come on in and join because it's a lot of fun. Seriously, it's a lot of fun. And like Erin always says, it's a safe space. So you can chat about anything and everything as long as you stay respectful.
Exactly. Yes. I will kick you out if you are not respectful. For sure. So yes, join us there. Fergie is not afraid of spiders. Fergie watched this movie with me today. And Fergie loves horror movies. She loves Abbott Elementary and she loves true crime. And she's a cutie. And you can follow her on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find the link to our Discord server, our other social media, all our past episodes, go over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get bonus content, you get ad-free episodes, you get episodes a day early, and you occasionally win prizes like our current horror trivia event, which we're wrapping up on this coming Sunday at 6 p.m. with Decades of Horror, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And our reigning champ, Tiff, who won last week, will be there. And it's just a ton of fun. And basically, our Patreon supporters get all the points of the player they choose to win, who they think will win. And then they get to potentially win some cool prizes that have been donated. And they don't have to know anything about trivia. So it's a cool little thing that we do. We also give away prizes in May during our marathon streaming event. So I just, have some prizes donated, put names in a hat, and I just draw out names for prizes. So become a Patreon supporter today by clicking the link in the show notes or on our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And you can click the support us tab there. You'll also find our Redbubble store, which you can get it's a horror thing, or it's a Fandom thing for Finn Whitrock, or lots of different things in that store as well. And on Friday's episode, Tiff will be back along with Carla and Kim to talk about my favorite horror movie of all time, starring my favorite horror villain, Michael Myers, and that is John Carpenter's classic 1978 movie, Halloween. And my panelists are warned, if they do not like this movie and they're going to be on this panel, they're not going to have a fun time because this is my favorite horror movie. But we're talking about it because it'll be dropping on Halloween. And I was like, well, we have 5 Fridays in October. We have 5 Fridays next October too, by the way. So I'm very excited we get to do it again. We get to do 5 horror movies again. So that's why I wanted to do it. So I am very excited to, of course, talk about this movie. I got to see it for the first time on the big screen last year. And that was so much fun. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. And I can't believe that horror month is basically almost over. I can't believe October's almost over. It's just, oh my God.
Flew by.
It's kind of blowing my mind right now. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, and free Palestine.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.